So I taped this episode first thing this morning, and then I came back to it and realized that half of the video, it had bleeped out in the middle of it. So if you're on YouTube, you just are getting the cover of this episode. And I'm sorry that you are not going to get me full on crying, which is what happened during this episode. That you don't get to see that. Next time I cry, I promise I will make sure it's on video. If you guys enjoy seeing someone break down the way I do. If not, I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that this episode is, like, it really did touch my heart, and I am sad that the video didn't work for it, and that all you're getting is the cover, but just know that my heart's there, and maybe it's just as well, because I don't know, maybe if I had gone back to watch it, I haven't watched it yet, I would have felt like it was a little too vulnerable for you guys to see the video. So enjoy it, and I hope you get a lot out of it.
Welcome to the Make and Design Podcast. I'm your host, Carina Gardner. On this podcast, we're unraveling the everyday joys and dilemmas of design, making, and business. For makers who want to be designers and for designers who are makers, this is your inside scoop to help you grow your business and bring more creativity to your life.
Happy October, everyone. Can you even believe it's October? It's like so crazy to me. Okay, today I have just been thinking, I woke up this morning, I actually wasn't even going to do any podcast episodes this morning, because I have been thinking a lot about kind of my own beginnings, and I think that's meant for a different episode, and I'll tell you guys some things about me, but I started thinking about how, my kids, I was driving my 14-year-old to school this morning, and I said, "You look so cute this morning, honey." And she was just like, I was like, what? Like, just say thank you. Like, have I not taught you just to say thank you when you get a compliment? And she was like, "Oh, I hate it when you compliment me, Mom." And I was just like, "Well, that's a show of insecurity, so just say thank you." And she was like, "Oh, okay. Now, I can't tell if this is just 14-year-old behavior. Some of you probably would shout at me at the screen or at the podcast and tell me, yes, Carina, it is. It's 14-year-old behavior. But I started thinking about this, and even though she just needs to learn how to say thank you, I also think how often I tell my kids how valuable they are. And that really wasn't because I was telling her how cute she is, which is quite different than telling your children how valuable they are or telling another human being how valuable they are. And I started thinking, in my life, I kind of had a rocky childhood, so I don't think my parents very often, if ever, really showed or told me how valuable I was. But I married someone who tells me how valuable I am to him all the time. And I was thinking, if you don't have that in your life, then this episode's for you. And it's a short episode, but I just want to tell you from your pal Carina how valuable you are. Because you are. You're because you're so incredibly valuable. And I don't know what life has thrown at you. I don't know where you are in your life. Maybe you're in a stage where you're taking care of children. Maybe you're in a stage taking care of grandchildren. Maybe you're in a stage taking care of your parents. But you've had a unique number of struggles in your life that has culminated to who you are today. You've also had a unique set of creative abilities that has culminated to where you are today. And if no one has told you recently how valuable you are, I'm here to tell you you're valuable, that you're an important person in this universe, that you're an important human being. And I don't think we talk about this enough, like that we're good just as we are, that we're important and valuable just as we are. And I was thinking about this. I'm going to tell you guys a story, which is a little bit vulnerable for me to say, but Many of you know I have been to quite a bit of therapy in the past. Maybe you don't know that. Maybe this is your first episode. But I totally believe in therapy if you have anything. Even if you're pretty normal, I think therapy actually is this really wonderful thing. So early on, my oldest daughter is 17, and she was a toddler at the time when I was going. And I remember going in and just, it's been so long, you guys, but I remember thinking, not even thinking, like I just had zero self-worth, like zero. And I remember my therapist saying to me, well, Carina, like you feel like you're not worth anything unless you do things. Okay. And at the time I was working on my Ph.D. Okay. And she was like, you're not valuable or important because you are doing all these skills, because you're a designer or because you're getting your Ph.D. You're just worthwhile because of you. And I was like, I don't understand that. I don't understand how I'm worthwhile just because of me. And she looked at me and she goes, okay, well, your daughter is, how old? And I think she was 1 at the time, or like 18 months. And she was like, is she important? And I was like, well, yes, of course she is. And she was like, but does she do the dishes? And I was like, no, she's 18 months old. She was like, does she help you fold the laundry? And I was like, no. Does she help make money for your household? And I was like, no. And she goes, then how do you know she is a worthwhile human being? And I was like, I just know. She was like, same with you. And I'm kind of tearing up because it was such a moment in my life when I realized that all of us, every single one of us, including me, was a worthwhile human being. And I just want to tell you today, if you haven't had anyone tell you how valuable or important you are, you are. You're important. You're important just as you are. And I hope my kids know that. And I hope my family knows that. And I can't believe I'm crying on a podcast, you guys. Like, I don't even want to put this up because it's embarrassing for me. But I'm going to, because I think you need to hear the message that you are worthwhile, you are valuable, just as you are. And as we see, as parents, as we see our children, that's how we also need to see ourselves. All right, you guys. Thanks for coming. Short episode today. Hopefully one that you need to, if you need to listen to this a couple of times over because you need to remember your own self-worth, do it. Because what you're doing in this world is important.
Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.